right, everybody. Welcome to the next game, the 1987 replay. YouTube giving me some more problems. This is my third attempt. Kept telling me I could not. Live stream was unavailable at the moment or whatever they were giving me. I don't know. So we're going to try to see if we can't get it done now. Looks like it's working somewhat. That's maybe an understatement to say that, but we're going to proceed further and see what we can do with this. Apologize for YouTube screwing me up. And had to put out 3 different attempts, and this is the third attempt. So fortunately, now it looks like we're on. Of course, a lot of people probably think it's the boy crying wolf again. They're like, oh, okay, another attempt, and it's not coming. But when you're dealing with technology, this is what you have to deal with. Oh, hey, Ben. Hello, Jeff. This is the third attempt I'm trying. I kept getting those error messages again saying unable to live stream at the moment. So I had to keep stopping it and restarting it. And fortunately, this one, it allowed it to go through. So hopefully we won't have any problems. We can hope. We can hope. Let's get this over a little bit more. Okay, I think we can see everything now. I decided to go in, since it's as played lineups, I decided last night to go ahead and type in the lineups and the ratings so you don't see my chicken scratch. You see something a lot neater than what I can produce. And it's got all the pertinent information in there. Kansas City is 18-18, Boston's 15-23. This is game number 263, the first game on the May 20th docket. Danny Jackson 3-2 against Bruce Hurst 1-5. Ballpark effects 1-11 for singles at Royal Stadium. Home runs are 1-3. Danny Jackson pitcher catcher quotient is a -2. Bruce Hurst is a -3. I've got the wild pitch and balk ratings for both pitchers right here. Wild pitch 3, balk 2. Wild pitch 4, balk 0. And then we got the pass ball rating for the catchers. They're pass ball 12 for Gedman, pass ball 4 for Owen, and the T ratings right here as well, plus all the other ratings that are there. Hey, Chuck. Hello, Aaron. Good to see both of you. While I was trying to get everything all set up and whatnot, I did take this little short video of a companion I had sitting beside me. I don't know how well this will show up. I think she turns her head here eventually. But that's where she sits, right there by my computer on her little perch. There she is, doing her thing. Just having a good old time, waiting for me to roll the dice. She loves the sound of the dice in the tray. And there she is. So she's somewhere between 12 and 13. We don't know her exact age, but she's somewhere in that neighborhood. We've had her 11. We got her in July of 2014. So that tells you how long we had. And she was about a year old when we got her. Maybe a little more, maybe between 12 and 18 months when we got her. So anyway, just thought I would throw that out there just to hopefully keeps her away from showing up on the, breaking up what we're trying to do here. Yes, she does, ID. She keeps waiting for me to have a good game, but oh well. And ID, I know you're a big XSplit believer, but I actually got a video to work for me, and I'm going to post it this afternoon using OBS. So I was able to get that done without any issues. And it turned out, for me, compared to what I normally turn out, it turned out, I thought, pretty well. So I'm an OBS believer right now. So until somebody tells me different, XSplit, the free version, you only get 720p. So I wasn't happy with it, and I'm not going to pay for it. So that's that, because I'm cheap. All right. That's how I was able to retire, because I've cheap all these years and saved all this money and not spent it. So that helps. All right. So Danny Jackson, 3-2 on the replay. Let's get his replay stats for you. to bring up the Strat-O-Matic computer. He's 3-2 with a 4.83 earned run average. He was 4.02 real world, but 4.83 ERA at the moment. 50 innings pitched, 49 hits, 29 walks, and 46 strikeouts. And hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Seemed to be like she was. I don't know. I mean, it's something not going to be entertaining.
I don't know how that stuff works, but as long as it's not, foaming at the mouth or lethargic or harsh or anything, that's great. I don't have my cell phone with me. It's in the vehicle, so if there's an emergency, call me at the store.
Okay.
All right, love you, honey. Enjoy your day. Bye, Travis. Love you.
All right, sorry about that, folks. Phone call came in from the missus I had to take, so. And the ringing scared Tabby. She jumped down, so she's not by me anymore, but that's okay. She might come back. All right, so now we're ready to go, finally, after many, many tribulations and trials. Ellis Burks hitting a .194 on the replay, a homer and 5 driven in. We're underway from Royal Stadium. 6-5 against Danny Jackson is a ground ball to second. And that's going to be taken care of by Buddy Biancalana playing second today, giving Frank White the day off. So Buddy Biancalana is your second baseman in this one. Speaking of second baseman, here's Marty Barrett. Barrett hitting .311, no homers, 6 driven in. 6-11, and that's a ballpark single check. 1 to an 11, that's a 15, so that will be a liner to short. Ballpark did not help out Mr. Barrett on that one, but now here comes Wade Boggs. Boggs hitting .343 on the replay, 9 homers, 19 driven in. He hit .363. Kubaza pitched the last game ID, so he's got to, these are as-played lineups, because you said if we don't use as-played lineups, heads will explode. So these are as-played lineups. 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. Willie Wilson is a 1. He's going to get to it. We're just making sure he doesn't make an E1, and the only E1 is a 17. You just have to avoid 17, which he does, and he makes the play, and that's going to do it. Red Sox go quietly, 1-2-3. Red Sox were about as successful as my first 2 attempts at this stream, and they came up empty. So here is Bruce Hurst, the left-hander for the Red Sox. And on the replay, Bruce Hurst, a terrible 1-5 on the replay with a 7.01 earned run average, 51 innings pitched, 69 hits, 25 walks, 49 strikeouts. So he is definitely struggling. He can use a good one. And Willie Wilson will lead off. He's hitting .304, 2 homers, 8 driven in. 4-9, right switch hitter batting right is a fly ball to right. 1 away. And Dwight Evans is actually at first base in this game, and the right fielder is Dave Henderson. So Dewey Evans playing first base as a right-handed hitter against the lefty Jackson. They are sitting Bill Buckner. All right, here's Kevin Seitzer. He's hitting .243, 7 homers, 20 driven in. 5-5, and that's a fly ball to center. Boy, it seems like all these results are coming off the pitcher card, but I could be wrong. But I'm thinking all 5 of them came off the pitcher card. Here's Juan Beniquez, the designated hitter. He's hitting .241, 4 homers, 19 driven in. 4-9, again off the pitcher card. It's a fly ball to right. So 3 flyouts, and Kansas City is disposed of pretty quickly here in the first inning. We go to the second inning, no score from Royal Stadium. And the designated hitter, Don. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Designated hitter, Don Baylor will be leading things off. And, of course, morning time. So, I got to have the tools of the trade. Tools of the trade right here. Got to have them. Coffee. Can't do it without it. Not in a morning game anyway. So Baylor hitting 236, 4 homers, 17 driven in. 3-7 finally off the batter card, and he gets a base hit. Base hit, Don Baylor. He will not go anywhere. But a leadoff single for Baylor, and that's going to bring up Dwight Evans, again playing first base in this one, not right field. And actually, according to this, he played more first base than he did right field, because usually Strat-O-Matic will list the position they play first to the left and then go further down. So if I'm reading this correctly, I know Bill Buckner gets traded later on to California. I mean, to Kansas, either California or Kansas City. I don't remember which one. But they must move him to first base. But, I mean, he was a pretty good right fielder. I'm not sure why you take him out of the outfield. But maybe that's why the Red Sox were so bad in 87. I don't know. All right, so Dwight Evans hitting 326, 6 homers, 29 driven in. First havoc roll of the game, nothing happening. 5-3, it's ground ball pitcher X. So Danny Jackson's a 3 and an E13. So he's got to see if he can get that double play. But the devil die comes up low again, does not help him out. 3 and a 3, he'll be lucky to get to this. This might even get by him for a base hit. 3 and a 3, and it certainly does. Single. His error rating is an E13, and that's a 17. E13, and that's a 2-base error. It's a single and a 2-base error on Danny Jackson. That's kind of wild for a pitcher. E13 and a 17. That's a 2-base error, and the double die came up as a 3, so it's going to be a single for Evans, and then a 2-base error on Jackson. And, of course, Baylor will score. The no RBI given, he scores on the error, not on the single. So a single plus an error, 2-base error. So Evans will go all the way to third. Of course, Baylor scores. Danny Jackson, self-inflicted wound right there. Boston leads it 1-0. Nobody out, and here's Jim Rice. Infield is in. 4-10. Ground ball third base X. We're looking at Seitzer. He's a 4E26. Kansas City, not very good with the field. You can see lots of 4s for their defensive ratings. So not exactly a stellar example of fine fielding. But a 4E26 at third base. 4-19, though, that'll help. That'll be a G1, which will keep the runner at third. That's a 13. He's an E26. E26, no 13. So it's going to be a G1. And, of course, with the runner on third and a G1 with the infield in, it is the only play is on the batter, and the runner on third, Evans, will have to hold. So it's going to be a 5-3 ground out, 1 away. And that'll take us to Dave Henderson. Oh, got Spike Owen in there by mistake. I don't know how he got in there. He's not even in the game. Spike Owen's on the bench, so I don't know how he snuck in there. But it's Dave Henderson who's batting. He's hitting 245, 7 homers, 20 driven in. Infield still, of course, in. .38, and that's a strikeout. So Danny Jackson trying to fight his way back. First strikeout. 1 out away from getting out of it, and he has to get Glenn Hoffman, the shortstop. Hoffman hitting 217 on the replay. No homers, 4 driven in 46 at-bats. In real world, in 55 at-bats, he hit 200. So he's doing pretty much what he is supposed to do according to his numbers. Clutch situation, and I don't think he has enough at-bats to be ready to clutch, and he does not. That's a 1-6, and that's a line out to second. He has no hits against lefties on his card. Not a single hit. The only way he can reach base is to get hit by a pitch. He does that in 2 spots. But in this one, 1-6 is a line out to second. And the inning is over. So Boston gets the 1 run. It's unearned. And Jackson gets out of the rest of it. That could have been a crooked number up there, but Jackson pitched around it. So we go to the bottom of the second. Bruce Hurst thought he was going to have a bigger lead than what he has. But he has to settle for a 1-0 lead. Here's Danny Tartabull. He's hitting 296, 8 homers, 20 driven in. 6-7, and that's a 1-12 single. That's a 6. So base hit for Danny Tartable. And Tartable, if he gets the lead, it's still not a good thing with that -3 hold factor, because then you're looking at a 1-9, so there's no sense even trying for the lead in this instance. So we'll go to Bo Jackson. Bo knows. And Bo knows is hitting .233, 3 homers, 12 driven in. He hit .235 real world. So his average is doing pretty good. He's a little bit short on his home runs right now. He's a little bit behind on his pace of home runs. 1-9, he's going to strike out. First strikeout for Hurst. I know Bo has lost some home runs during this replay at Royal Stadium because the stadium factor is costing some home runs. Here's Steve Bye-Bye Balboni hitting a .148, 6 homers, 12 driven in. 1-9 for Balboni. It's a ground ball to short. That'll be a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. And that's going to take care of the Royals. So at the end of 2, it's still Boston 1 and Kansas City nothing. Due up for the Red Sox, it'll be the number 9 hitter, Rich Gedman, the catcher. Gedman hitting .219, no homers, 5 driven in. He hit .205 real world. 5-4 for Danny Jackson is a fly ball center field X. Again, Wilson's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. And as an E1, 17 is his only error number to worry about. And there is no 17, so he will make the play. All right, here's Ellis Burks, center fielder. 6-9, and that's trouble for Jackson. 1-11 is a double. That's a 14. It'll be a base hit for Ellis Burks. Burks, one of the few Red Sox who actually can run and steal bases. Needs a 5 or a 6 to get the lead. Does not get it. He will hold, and here's Marty Barrett. 6-5, and that's a ground ball second base C, so the runner will advance. Only play for Biancalana is to throw it to first. So now with 2 outs, runner is in scoring position for Wade Boggs. First base is open. They could walk Boggs and pitch to Baylor if they so chose. But I think there's this early in the game, they're going to start walking people. They're going to go ahead and take their chances. Lefty on lefty with Boggs. 3-9, and they walk him unintentionally anyway. So Boggs, base on balls. First one issued by Jackson. Not a bad thing, actually. Avoid having Boggs drive a run home. And here's Don Baylor. He did single his first time up. Oh, that red die didn't go through. Let's redo that again. 4-5, and that's a fly ball to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Jackson pitches around that and keeps the Sox off the board. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still 1-0 in the bottom part of the order for the Angels. Salazar, Biancalana, and Owen. Boy, that's a powerhouse little group of players right there. Don't think we're going to get a whole lot of offense out of these guys. This could be where Bruce Hurst improves his pitching numbers. Salazar on the replay hitting .280, 2 homers, 9 driven in. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Barrett's a 2E11. 2E11 for Barrett. 2-9, he'll get to that. The E11 and a 12. E11, there is no 12, so Barrett will make the play. 1 away. 1 down for Buddy Biancalana, second baseman. He's hitting .059 on the replay. He hit .213 real world in 47 at bats, but in 17 at bats, he's hitting .059. 3-7, and he's going to ground to third, so his struggles continue. 2 down for Larry Owen. Owen, the catcher, hitting. Let's see here. Owen, the catcher, is hitting a .125, a homer and 2 driven in. He hit a 189 real world. 5-7, and it's a ground ball second base X. We're right back to Barrett again. 2E11. Oh, hop and dice. Let's re-roll all of that. You don't like hot some dice. All right, 2 and a 16, he'll get to that. E11 and a 14. Let's make sure there's no 14 here. E11, no, there's a 15, but no 14. So good play for Barrett. A little shaky, but he makes the play. And that's going to do it for the Royals. We go to the fourth. Still 1-0 favor of the Red Sox. That unearned run, that big error by Danny Jackson, self-inflicted. He's hurting himself. Can't blame anyone but himself. And Dwight Evans, who hit that infamous infield single that turned into a two-base error, is up to bat again. Oh, Denny, appreciate it. I'm doing it because I'm just like that. What's that movie called? Pay It Forward. Because when I was working, I appreciated these videos myself to get me through the day. So I'm just trying to pay it forward, as they say. And plus, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I get two different feelings. So you get the as played old school 1987 here in the morning. And then the evening, you get the unpredictable recent season of injuries and all kind of stuff. And so it's just two different kind of Strat-O-Matic experiences for me. All right, here's Dwight Evans. I know a lot of people don't like the modern stuff, and that's fine. I completely understand it. A 4-7 is a walk. I'm trying to learn the players, and so that's why I'm digging into that. So I can watch modern baseball and at least try to, it's the only thing live going on in baseball world right now. So here's Jim Rice. 3-6 against the lefty, and that's a single to center field. There's anti-clutch, but we're not in that situation. So a single to center, and Evans will stop at second base. So first and second with nobody out, and that's going to bring up Dave Henderson. Struck out his first time up. Jackson wiggled out of trouble the last inning. Trying to do the same. 1-3 is a fly ball to left, and that's going to be out number 1. And that'll send up Hoffman. Now Jackson has to benefit the same thing that Hurst had last inning, facing the bottom of the order. Got a good chance to get out of it unscathed. Here's Hoffman. 2-7. But he hits, like I said, Hoffman had no hits against the lefties, but he does have a hit by pitch on a 2-7, and that's exactly where it fell. So Jackson plunks him. Definitely a mistake pitch to Hoffman. He's no threat to do anything. So you put him on base like that, load the bases with 1 out for Rich Gedman, and the infield is playing in. They don't trust the double play ball. They're going to play in. 1-5, and that's a ground ball first base B, and it's a very good thing they played in. Ground ball first base B. And to make it, I believe it's just a force at the plate, but I will to the master area here. Bases loaded. Ground ball B is a 7. Batter safe. Lead runner is out. So there you go. If he played back, it would have just been a fielder's choice at second. But playing in, you get the ground ball B to first base. It goes home with it. So it's going to be a fielder's choice for Gedman. Evans is out 3-2 on the fielder's choice. Everybody else moves up a base. But they get the lead dog, which is kind of what they were hoping for, obviously. Nice play from Balboni to Owens. Don't even have to make the tag because you got a force there, so it's easy to make that force play. But for whatever reason, as slow as Gedman is, they couldn't have the return throw go to first for the double play. So it's 2 outs, bases loaded for Ellis Burks. Clutch situation again for Burks. And then the clutch, look at this, column 1. He loses a hit on 8, 9, and 10 for being anti-clutch. He also loses a hit on 2-10 for being anti. So talk about, and 3-12. So he's got 5 different anti-clutch situations on his card. 4-9, and we go to Jackson, and he walks in a run. How do you like that? Danny Jackson walks in a run. Wow. That is his third walk, actually. He's walked 3 and hit a batter, so his control is left him at times, but it's an RBI walk by Ellis Burks, and the Red Sox take a 2-0 lead. And here's Marty Barrett. Also in the clutch situation, he loses a hit on 3-5 and 2-8. So he's anti-clutch there as well. That's a 6-5. A ground ball to second is going to end the inning. But another run comes in for the Red Sox, and they lead it 2-0 to go to the bottom of the fourth. And due up will be the top of the order: Willie Wilson, Kevin Seitzer, and Juan Beniquez. All right, here is Wilson, who flew to right his first time up. 6-5, and that's going to be a double, solid double to center field by Willie Wilson. So that's a good way to start if you're the Royals. Try to get back in this game. You get a leadoff double from your leadoff guy with good speed, and that brings up Kevin Seitzer. That's a 6-5 again. Back to back, same roll. 6-5 is another double. Back-to-back doubles. I used to have a home brew rule that if I rolled the same roll twice, I'd re-roll because I don't like rolling the same roll twice. But then I figured, what the heck? If the odds want to come up that way, we'll just go with it. But it used to be back in the day that I would have re-rolled that. I would not allowed a second 6-5 in a row. I guess we've gone on past that. So here's Beniquez, 112, and that's a fly ball to left. And that's going to be one away. Staying at second base is Seitzer. Brings up Tartable, cleanup hitter. Singled his first time up. Seitzer not being held at second. 3-8 against the lefty. He will draw the base on balls, and that's the first walk issued by Hurst. It will set up a force play at any base. So they could double up Bo possibly, although I don't think he's much of a double play candidate. He strikes out and hits fly balls. So chances of doubling him up is not very good. Look at his card. He doesn't really have a whole lot of ground ball A's out there. In fact, you look at his card, I don't see any ground balls at all. I just noticed that. Look at Bo Jackson. Do you see any ground balls on his card? I don't see a single ground ball on his card. There are no ground balls on Bo Jackson's card at all, either side. Not a single one. I just noticed that. So I guess, he lifts the ball up in the air, so there's no chance of a double play for Bo Jackson. All right, so Hurst to Jackson. First and second, one out, one in. 6-6, and that's a single to left field. That column 6 on Hurst's card is giving him trouble. Seitzer will hold. Bases are loaded. The bases are loaded with only one out. And bye-bye Balboni, who hit into a double play his first time up, is up now, and Boston's playing for that double play. They're hoping to induce the double play. 4-6, it is a strikeout. So big strikeout there to get Balboni. And that'll send us to Salazar. Royals probably now regretting not sending Seitzer to the plate there on that base hit. But with only one out, they figured they had two chances to get him in. Now it's not looking too good. 5-7, ground ball, second base X. That's Barrett again, 2-11. Fire to third base coach, 2-9. 2-9 is a G2, and that's an 11. He is an 11, but there is no 11 there, so it's going to be an out in the inning. But the Royals get one, but they should have had more, quite obviously. Bad third base coaching there. Cost him a run potentially, although he could have been thrown out too. You never know. It's a chance you take. So we go to the top of the fifth. Danny Jackson has a 6 for fatigue. Bruce Hurst has a 7. 2-1 Red Sox. Top of the order, Wade Boggs. Oh, did I miss something on Bo Jackson? Was it 210 a single? Yeah, you were right, Dan. I didn't see that. So he did have a single here, but that's not a ground ball. I was looking at ground ball outs. There's no ground ball A's, ground ball B's, or ground ball C's on Bo Jackson's card. They're all in the air. So all his outs anyway. So obviously, I guess he uppercut the ball, or 210 is a ground ball. Did I miss it? I was looking at 310. Hold on. Let me see here. Oh, you're right. 210 right here. That's the only one. Ground ball to short. 210. He's got one ground ball to short. That's it. So I guess he did hit into a double play at some point because it did give him a ground ball A. I didn't see the stats on it. I didn't see that one. It is definitely hiding. And if you're not, I'll tell you what, is not familiar with Strat-O-Matic and look at these cards and think they're very busy. And maybe they are in some ways. I don't know. I thought I heard Tabby do something, but apparently not. The coffee's starting to get a little cool, so I'll be waiting for that 7th inning stretch to reheat the coffee. Here's Boggs, 3-4. Ground ball to third, and that is one away. One down, and that will send up Don Baylor. Single and a fly to center. That's a 1-5, and that's a pop out to short. That's 2 away, 2 up and 2 down. And that will bring up Dewey Evans. 3-6 for Evans, and that's a 1-4 single, but that's a 20, so he will line it right to Salazar at short, and that will be a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Red Sox here in the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still Boston 2 and Kansas City 1. And the great Buddy Biancalana will lead things off for the Royals. He used to be a switch hitter, but apparently later in his career, he ended that and went straight to right-handed hitting. But I remember in 85, when the World Series year, he was a switch hitter. At least I'm fairly sure he was. All right, here's Biancalana. 5'9", right-handed, is a strikeout. Doesn't matter how he hits, he's not hitting. No matter what side of the plate he goes on, he just can't hit. That's why he didn't stay in big leagues very long. So he goes down on strikes, and that brings up Larry Owen. He also can't hit, which is why he didn't stay in the big leagues very long. 2-5, and he strikes out here. So back-to-back Ks for 2 quick outs, and that will send up Willie Wilson. That'll be the last at-bat you see of Biancalana and Owen in this game because they will be pinching for their next time around. 3-2 against a lefty is a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Bruce Hurst. We go to the 6th. It's still 2-1. Nip and tuck. I was expecting more runs in this game. The pitching matchup wasn't that stellar, so I was expecting especially the Royals to score some runs against Hurst, but he's actually upped his game. All right, here's Jim Rice. 3-9 for Rice is going to be a base on balls, leadoff walk. And again, Jackson having some control problems. That is walk number 4 plus a hit batter. Rice, of course, no threat to run. So he will not go anywhere. And Dave Henderson, stepping to the plate. He's 0 for 2. 5-7, and that is a 1-2 single. 3-20 is a line out. So lines it out to Salazar for out number 1. I'm not sure why they put so many lineouts to short on the batter cards, because you get that when the ballpark fails, you get enough of those liners to short. So I'm not sure why they had to put them on their cards. It can't be that many times they're lining to shortstop. So, oh well. As long as it's an out, I guess most people don't care about the distribution of outs. As long as they're outs. 2-7 is and he got hit by a pitch again. We had that 2-7 roll the very last time he came to bat. Got it again. 2-7. He's hit by the pitch twice. I'm not sure in a real game if they would be any kind of a outrage on that or not for the same guy getting hit twice, particularly a guy that's hitting, a 200 hitter. Not like you're hitting the top run producer on the team or anything. Here's Gedwin. I do too, Jeremiah. I definitely do. That's why anytime that's a 1 chance of a wild pitch on Danny Jackson. His wild pitch rating is a 4. No wild pitch. But yeah, definitely when the ballpark single comes up and it fails, if there's nobody on base, I'll take, if it's a single, if it says single on the get-go, I'll go ahead and call it a line out. But if it's a ballpark single where the out is attached to it, I'll stick with the original out as long as it doesn't affect base running. Just to try to switch the distributions around a little bit. Here's Gedman, 5-6. That's a strikeout for Danny Jackson, a much needed one. That's only the second strikeout for Danny Jackson in this game. Got Henderson in the second, and now he finally gets Gedman here in the 6th. And that's going to bring up Ellis Burks' clutch situation again. Again, we noticed from last time all these anti-clutch results. Of course, it didn't hurt him in the 4th inning. He just walked with the bases loaded to drive in a run. 2-10, and there you go. There's the anti-clutch. It's a single, but it's anti-clutch. It's a clutch result. It's going to turn this single into a pop-up to short with the anti-clutch. So that cost him right there. Ellis Burks, I guess, was determined to be anti-clutch by Strat-O-Matic. Some people don't like the clutch rating. They don't play with it, but if I'm going to play super advanced, I'm going to play with the whole thing. So only thing I don't do is block the plate or do robbing home runs. Pretty much everything else I use in super advanced. All right, we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Kevin Seitzer. That's true, ID, that the 1,200 hours, and that's probably, I would say about 900 of those hours, Hal Richmond's probably sleeping at the chair. He's at the meeting, but he's like nodding off or whatever, probably because he's so old. All right, here is Bruce Hurst to Kevin Seitzer. 112, and that's a Lomax plus injury. So Kevin Seitzer, chance to be injured for the rest of the game. He does hit the Lomax for a line out to third to Boggs. Now 1-4. Seitzer will stay in the game. 5 or higher. He's got to come out. And Seitzer has to leave the ball game. So we need a new third baseman for Kansas City. And they just happen to have this guy named George Brett. So we'll go ahead and bring in George Brett to play third base, as Seitzer was injured. So Brett will be the third baseman starting with the 7th inning. Brett will take over. He's a 4.37, so it's just going to change this 26 to a 37 is all it's going to do. Defensively, they're both 4 rated, so they're pretty much the same defensively. It's not really hurting anything. Here is Benitez, 5-7, and that's a ground ball second. Boy, they give Marty Barrett a lot of ground ball outs over there. A lot of chances anyway. 2-2, though. Devil Die sneaks up on Marty Barrett and bites him. 2-2, it's going to be a single, and that's a 9. There's no error on the 9. But it will be a base hit for Juan Benitez, thanks to the Devil Die coming up with a low number. Benitez, no threat to run whatsoever, will not be held. And here's Danny Tartabull. Single and walk. 3-6 lefty. 1-14 is a 2-run homer, and there it is. Danny Tartabull just went deep off of Bruce Hurst. Look at it again. 3-6, left-handed. 1-14 is a home run. That's a 5. Danny Tartabull hits home run number 9 on the replay. RBI's 21 and 22 for Mr. Tartabull. And the Royals now grab a 3-2 lead on Bruce Hurst, thanks to Danny Tartabull's home run. Here comes Bo Jackson. Bo knows. 6-6, and that's a base hit for Bo Jackson. Hurst in a little bit of trouble. Bo Jackson has a chance to get the lead and see if he can't steal a base. He needs a 6 or a 7. 6 or a 7. Scooney, did you come? There, hey, Scooney, there you are. I didn't see you at first. All right, he got a 7, so he's going to get the lead. He's going to go 16, being held to 14. -3 is an 11. 1-11, and Bo Jackson will make it. And if I look at, I'm going to go back and look at Bo Jackson's numbers real quick. Bo Jackson on the replay has not stolen any bases. I think he only had one steal all season. Let me double check his numbers in 87. No, he had 10 steals, got caught 4 times in 87. But he's not had a stolen base attempt. He's never been able to get the lead until now. Now he's going to go. Again, it's a 1 to an 11. 16 there, 2 for being held to 14, minus 3 is an 11. And Bo is thrown out trying to steal. Caught stealing. Crime doesn't pay, Bo. So he is going to be caught stealing by Rich Gedman. Barrett puts on the tag, and there's 2 down. Or bye-bye Balboni. 2 outs and the bases are now empty. But the Royals do lead it 3-2. 3-8, and that's another walk. This one by Hurst. That'll be walk number 2 by Hurst. Balboni not going to be held. And here's Angel Salazar, also known as Argenis Salazar. 2-5, and he flies to left to end the inning, but the Royals take a 3-2 lead thanks to the long ball by Danny Tartable. 3-2 ball game. We go to the top of the 7th. And Danny Jackson is close to weakness. In his point of weakness inning, he did walk a batter and hit a batter, so we'll keep an eye on him. As we look ahead to the Royal bullpen, let's see if Quisenberry or Farr or whoever has got the most energy. Let's see, Farr. Yeah, Quisenberry has been a little bit overused. So Steve Farr loosing in the bullpen for the Kansas City Royals. Steve bridged too far. And he's certainly capable with a relief rating of 3. He could come in and save it and get a 3-inning save or a 2-inning save if need be. He only had 1 save real world. I've used him. He's gotten 5 saves already. So maybe I'm using him incorrectly, but I like how he pitches, so I'm using him that way. And plus, Quisenberry is overworked. And do you really want to bring in Dave Gumpert when the game's on the line? He's overworked too. So they don't have a whole lot in the bullpen. Jerry Dongleton, a lefty, needs work, but I guess you could bring him in if they're going to face lefties, but most of this lineup is right-handed. So we're going to go with Marty Barrett. 6-11 for Danny Jackson. That's a ballpark single. 1 to an 11. That's a 14. So since that's a single there already, I'll keep the line out to short. I guess I could make it a line out to third just to be different if I wanted to. I don't know. Never thought about it. I just by default went line up to short. Got so many things to think about in this game and home brews. Last thing I need to do is add more. Here's Boggs, 4-9, and that is a 1 to 19 single. So Wade Boggs will get himself a base hit. The tying run is now on base. And Danny Jackson's got to be getting close to fatigue here very shortly. We got Rice. We got Baylor, Evans, and Rice. And you know what? With the right-handers coming up, it looks like they're going to make the move to Danny Jackson. To Steve Farr. So that's it for Danny Jackson. Danny Jackson's day is done. He's going to go 6 1/3. He's going to give up 5 hits and 2 runs, but Boggs is his responsibility. So he can win it, but he can't lose it. And let's see, he walked 4, striking out 2, and he also hit a batter. So Steve Farr is your new pitcher. He's a +5 hold, which doesn't help much, but I don't think Owens is a -1, so that's a +4. But Boston not really a threat to do a whole lot of base stealing. So Steve Farr, we'll go and bring him on in the computer and get his numbers. Like I said, I've used him a little bit differently than what they did in real world because he's got 5 saves in this replay. He only had 1 save real world. 2-1, 5 saves, a 4.43 earned run average, 20 innings pitched, 18 hits, 18 walks, and 22 strikeouts. He had a 4.15 ERA real world. So a little bit higher, but not too bad. And here is Don Baylor. Boggs not being held. 6-8, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Salazar. He's a 2E16. A good D20 roll. Could be a double play. And he gets a good one. 2 and a 16 will be a G1. 2 and a 16 is a G1, no questions, but we're checking the error. That's a 13. He is an E16. E16, there's a 14, but no 13, so this will be a double play to end the inning. 6-4-3. So Farr comes in and throws one pitch, gets a double play. Can't do much better than that. Great return on investment there. Little energy and 2 outs. And we can close the book on Jackson. He's going to give up 2 runs. Only one of those were earned because this one with the 2-base error by himself was the unearned run factor. Now, Bruce Hurst, this will be his fatigue inning coming up in the 7th. But he's going to get to face Biancalana, Owen, and Wilson. And I said I was going to pinch hit for him, but now that they're ahead, I think we're going to go ahead and stick with who they've got. They don't need to go for offense. Biancalana is pretty good defensively, so they'll leave him in there for that. So, but we are at the 7th inning stretch, and I need to heat my coffee. So those two things work in tandem to help me get what needs to be done. So while I go do that, you guys can enjoy Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And I'll be right back. All right, perfect timing, and we are back and ready to roll here for the bottom of the 7th. Coffee is all warmed up. It's not piping hot, but it's warm enough to at least be able to drink it. So that's what counts. So Biancalana against Bruce Hurst. We get a 4-9. Right-handed is a fly ball to right field. And there's one away. Red Sox have some activity stirring in their bullpen. So look down their bullpen and see who needs the most or who has the most rest, who could use rest. Schiraldi still needs work. Crawford, a little bit overused. Gardner, pretty much right on time. So Gardner and Bolton, righty Gardner, lefty Bolton, are both pretty well rested, so they can use either one of those guys. They got them both loosely in the bullpen. Here's Owen, 4-7. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Hoffman. He's a 3-12. 3-4. Double die comes up bad again, and it causes a base hit. That's a 16, and he is an E12. There's a 15, but no 16. So base hit for Larry Owen. He sneaks it by Glenn Hoffman. Willie Wilson, your batter. 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. 2-5, and he's going to ground it to third base A. That's a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And Bruce Hurst will go 7. Don't know if he'll go any more, but he's at least going to go 7. With righties coming up, I believe they're going to bring in Gardner to pitch, Wes Gardner. Not to be confused with Dave Gardner, but Wes Gardner. And that'll do it for Hurst. Hurst is going to go 7 innings. He's going to give up 8 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. He struck out 4 and he walked 2. But he's on the short end of a 3-2 ball game. So now we start the top of the 8th. Farr, after facing 1 batter, getting Baylor to hit into a double play, he comes back to face Evans to start the 8th. And I realize my column 3 and column 6 are a little bit off view, but if we roll one of those, I'll pull the card in. But I try to keep as much of this open as I can. That's a 1-7, and that's a 1-8 double, 9-20 single. That's a base. That's a double there with a 4. So leadoff double for Dwight Evans, the tying run, now in scoring position with no one out. And that brings up Jim Rice. 1-7 struck him out. Big strikeout for Farr. Get the out without the runner advancing anywhere. Here's Dave Henderson. Red Sox have Mike Greenwell loosening up on deck to pinch hit for Hoffman. 3-5 for Henderson will bring him over here on a 3-5, and he strikes out. So Henderson with the strikeout, and that's going to necessitate a pinch hitting move because they're not going to let Glenn Hoffman bat. He's been hit twice, but they don't think he can get a hit. So Mike Greenwell will be coming in to pinch hit for Boston, and then to play shortstop will be Spike Owen. So those will be the moves the Red Sox will make. Pinch hitting will be Greenwell. And then Spike Owen will take over at shortstop in the bottom of the 8th. So Mike Greenwell will get a chance to see what he can do. Clutch situation with a runner on second and 2 outs. So let's bring in Greenwell and see what his numbers say. Hoffman had a inauspicious 0 for 1, getting hit by the pitch twice. But now he steps aside and Mike Greenwell comes on. Greenwell in the replay is hitting .388. 8 homers, 19 driven in, and just 67 at bats. He's been tearing it up. Now, first base is open. They could walk Greenwell, but you don't usually like to put on the go-ahead run on base. They could, but they're going to go ahead and pitch to Greenwell. So far, pitching to Greenwell. It's a 2-4, and it's a ballpark single check on the 2-4. It's a 1-11. That's a 15. So with that being the third out, we're going to keep the ground ball first base B. We're not going to have him line to second. It's just going to be a ground out to first, and it will end the inning. So Greenwell fails in the pinch, and Farr keeps that lead going for the Royals into the 9th. So Steve Farr doing his Benny Mardones impersonation and taking him into the 9th. And don't ask me where that came from because I don't know. All right, so coming in for the Red Sox to pitch with George Brett coming up. I forgot Brett's in there instead of Seitzer. They're actually going to go to Tom Bolton, a lefty. Not to be confused with Michael Bolton while we're talking about music. So Tom Bolton is on. He's a -1 hold, so that makes him a -2. Not that the Royals necessarily would try to run, but you never know. So Brett coming on, lefty against lefty, facing Tom Bolton. So Brett will be on to face the lefty Tom Bolton. We'll get the numbers on Bolton. Let's see here. Bolton is 0-0 with no saves and a 4.50 earned run average. 10 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 walks, 11 strikeouts. Lefty on lefty, 4-8. That's a single. Base hit for Brett. And that'll send it to Juan Beniquez. Normally, you like to bunt here to get the 2-run lead into the 9th. Beniquez is the DH, so if we can find a good bunter on the bench for the Royals, you might have him bunt. I don't normally like to bunt, but certain situations I think are decent situations to do it. Boy. Let me see. Check Frank White here. Frank White is a B bunter. So they're going to call back Beniquez and bring up Frank White. And his sole purpose is to bunt. So Frank White will be the pinch hitter. And he'll stay in the game as a DH. Get the numbers on White. Frank White is hitting .235, 4 homers, 12 runs batted in on the replay. But more importantly, he is a B bunter. B bunter. And he's pretty decent against left-handed pitching, but still, I think you really want to bunt this. So we're gonna go for the bunt. And to be fair, since I'm playing both sides, I don't know if the Red Sox would think they're gonna bunt or not. I'm gonna roll the D6. If it's a 1, 2, or 3, we're gonna have the corners in. If it's 4, 5, or 6, Boston's gonna be surprised. It's a 4, so they're gonna play back. So he's gonna keep his B bunting rating. B bunter. B bunter. So we go to the bunt chart. Bunt chart on the B. First of all, roll the havoc roll, make sure nothing's happening. The bunt's going to be fielded by the pitcher, Bolton, and that's a 4. And that's speed. It would have been the same thing with C or B. It's a speed. So we're going to roll we're going to roll the D20 against his speed rating. Frank White's speed rating is a 13, a 1 to 13. He beats us out for a hit. He does. It's a bunt single for Frank White. Wow. Imagine that. Frank White, such a good bunny, beat it out. And that brings up Tartable. And boy, I just don't know if you let Bolton face Tartable here. He's not doing so well. So Bolton's going to come out. Going to give up 2 hits, get nobody out. And they're going to bring in Gardner to try to get through this inning. Wes Gardner. So Wes Gardner it is. Bolton, you're gone. And Wes Gardner taking his place. So we go to the computer and bring in Wes Gardner to face Danny Tartable, who is 2 for 2 with a home run. He's not bunting. That's one thing for sure. So Gardner on the replay is 1-0 with 1 save, but his ERA is 7.25. 22 innings pitched, 33 hits, 10 walks, and 20 strikeouts, and he's facing Danny Tartable. Tartable, 2 for 2, single home run and a walk. You get a 2-7, and that is a 1 to 5 double. 6 to 20 is a single. That's a base hit, 2 stars. That'll bring home Brett, and it makes it a 4 to 2 ball game. Send the pinch hitter White over to third base. So runners are at the corner, still nobody out, and the Red Sox bullpen is being the Red Sox bullpen. And Bruce Hurst is like, "Why'd you take me out, dummy?" And now Bo Jackson, the infield is in for Bo Jackson. We've already documented he has a very small chance of a ground ball out here. So that's a 2. So second balk and pass ball. Balk rating on Gardner. Got to go to the computer for that to get that information. Hello, Dr. D. His balk rating is a 0, so he cannot balk. But the infield is in. Try to choke that run off. 1-5 against the right-hander. Struck him out. Big strikeout there for Gardner. 1 away, and that will send us to bye-bye Balboni. Infield is still in. 5-2. It's a good thing that the pitcher is automatically considered in anyway. Ground ball B, that's going to get the runner out at the plate. So White will be out 1-2 on the fielder's choice, with Balboni reaching first and Tartable going to second. So fielder's choice. Not sure where White was going. I guess he was going on contact, but that wasn't a smart move. And he's out of there. 2 down for Angel Salazar. He's 0 for 3. We feel back to normal now for both teams, for the Red Sox, rather. We get a 2-8, and that is a 1-12 single. That's a 13, so he lines it to short to end the inning. So all in all, Gardner did a pretty good job. He gave up the one inherited run that Bolton allowed, but he does go 1 inning, and he's going to give up a single. No runs, no walks, and a strikeout. So all in all, not too bad for Wes Gardner. We will go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Red Sox against the Royals, but the Royals got that all-important insurance run to take a 2-run lead. And now Steve Farr out to try to finish the deal. See what he can do. And he'll be facing Gedman to lead off, unless they want to pinch hit for Gedman. Let's see who the Red Sox still have left on the bench. They use Greenwell. They do have Bill Buckner sitting there, and he's a good hitter. So they're going to pull Gedman, and they're going to pinch hit with Billy Buck. So Bill Buckner will do the pinch hitting. Gedman, very ineffective in his time at the plate. So he will be gone, and they will pinch hit with Billy Buck. Buckner would later go to California. He'll be traded to the Angels later on in the season. So Bill Buckner coming on to see if he can get something started for the Red Sox. We'll get his numbers on the replay. Billy Buckner, if it goes to the bottom of the 9th, Mark Sullivan would come in and catch. Buckner is hitting .253 on the replay, 2 homers, 17 driven in. Steve Farr to Bill Buckner. 3-6 for Buckner. We'll bring in that column 3 a little closer here. Fly ball to right field. So Buckner flies out, 1 away. That brings up Ellis Burks. Burks, 1 for 3. And also a walk. That's a 3-9 for Burks. So we'll bring that in a little closer on a 3-9. He pops it up to second. Bianca Lana calls for it, 2 down. Farr 1 out away from getting his 6th save of the replay, despite only having 1 real world. It's up to Marty Barrett. 2-8 for Barrett, and he's going to get a base hit. There's an anti-clutch, but nobody's on base, so the single is good. And that keeps the game going for Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs is the tying run at the plate. Marty Barrett could steal, but he's not going anywhere. You don't get thrown out with Wade Boggs batting behind you and end the game that way. So they're going to give Boggs. They don't want to take the bat out of Boggs' hands. 1 is a possible wild pitch on Steve Farr, and his wild pitch rating is a 4. So he's a 4 wild pitch rating. No wild pitch is blocked by Owen. So here's Boggs. Well, we got a hop and dice. Let's re-roll that again. 3-5 for Boggs. We're bringing that column 3. 3-5 is a single, 2 stars, and the game continues. That's going to put runners on the corners with 2 outs, and that's going to mean Steve Farr is now tired. So do they let Steve Farr try to get that save, or do we take him out and bring in Quisenberry, even though Quisenberry's a little bit overworked? Let's see what we're going to do with Quisenberry or Farr. We're certainly not bringing in Gumpert, that's for sure. Don't trust Gumpert at all. Quisenberry. We're going to bring in Quisenberry because Farr is tired and we can't afford give up a tired base hit. So Farr did yeoman work, but Quisenberry's in to try to clean it up. So Dan Quisenberry loosening things up and ready to see if he can't put this one away. The 0 hold for a -1. On the replay, Quisenberry is 2-1 with 2 saves and a 2.16 ERA. 17 innings pitched, 21 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And he's got to deal with Don Baylor. And actually, the Baylor is the go-ahead run at the plate. Tying runs are on base. Quisenberry to Baylor. That's a 2-11, and that's a ballpark blast for Don Baylor. It's only a 1-3, but the Devil Die is a 2. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Don Baylor just put the Red Sox ahead. 2-11 is a ballpark blast. 1-3 for the home run. The Devil Die is a 2. 3-run home run off of Dan Quisenberry for Don Baylor. But Quisenberry was not on his card, so he really had no chance at it. For Baylor, home run number 5, RBIs 18, 19, and 20. And just like that, the Red Sox take a 5-4 lead. 2 of those runs are charged to Farr, but the 5th run is charged to Quisenberry. So Quisenberry would take the L if it stays this way. Calvin Schiraldi now loosening in the Red Sox bullpen to try to finish the game in the bottom of the 9th. But wow, is all you can say. Don Baylor. And they were down to 2 outs, bases empty, and you thought the innocent single here was just a single. Then Boggs singles, and then you bring in Quisenberry, and all heck breaks loose. 6-2 for Quisenberry is this is an interesting card. It's got a triangle here, but everything else lines out to short. So I'm assuming there are no numbers listed, so I'm assuming it's an automatic line out to short. I don't know how else to do it. It doesn't really say on the card here, but I'm assuming it's just a straight out line out to short. So the Red Sox pick 3 runs in the 9th, and now Calvin Schiraldi will come on and try to close the deal. But that's not automatic either. If you know anything about Calvin Schiraldi, that is far from automatic. So let's go to the box score, get the totals on, and of course we need Mark Sullivan to come in and catch as Buckner pinch hit for Sullivan. So Sullivan will come in and catch, and Schiraldi will come in and pitch. And go to the box score to get the numbers on Farr, so we can finish his day out. Farr goes 2 1/3, gives up 3 hits and 2 runs. No walks, 2 strikeouts. Quisenberry, unfortunately for him, pitches a third of an inning. Well, we won't. If it goes extra innings, we don't want to. I don't want to fill in for Quisenberry because if they tie the game, Quisenberry would still be in the game to pitch. So, all right. So Calvin Schiraldi and the Royals will go to their bench because obviously they're not going to have Buddy Biancalana or Larry Owen hit here in this situation. They've got to go the best they can get off the bench. So off the bench, they will go to Thad Bosley and Hal McRae. Those 2 guys will pinch hit for the Royals against Schiraldi. Schiraldi on the replay is 1-2 with 2 saves, 6.89 ERA, 16 innings pitched, 23 hits, 4 walks, and 21 strikeouts. But coming up to pinch hit for Buddy Biancalana will be Thad Bosley. And Bill Pecota could play could play second if it goes extra innings. But Thad Bosley is on the replay. Bosley's hitting .225, 2 homers, 7 driven in. So Thad Bosley will get the call to pinch hit here in the 9th. And then right behind him, Hal McRae will pinch hit as well. All right, so we're going to have Bosley followed by McRae and then Willie Wilson. Those are the three up to face Calvin Schiraldi. It is now a 5-4 Red Sox lead as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Thought this one was over, but Don Baylor says not so fast, my friend. So here's the pitch to Bosley. 4-4, left-handed, is a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Burks. He's a 2E5. 2-10, he'll get to it. The E5 shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't think. That's an 11. E5, there is no 11, so Burks does make the play, and Bosley is retired. Brings up Hal McRae. McRae on the replay. Let's bring him in. See how he's doing on the replay. They still have George Otto on the bench as well. They need him. McRae on the replay is hitting a 194, so he's definitely underperforming. He's had 31 at-bats on the replay, only had 32 real world. He had 313 in the real world, but he's only hitting 194 on the replay, so he's grossly underperformed. Of course, he is a marginal player as well, just by only having 32 at-bats. That's a 5-8, and he's going to strike out. Schiraldi will strike him out. That is out number 2, so it's all up to Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson's the last hope for the Royals. And they are, if they lose this game, they obviously going to say they let this slip away. They're trying to catch the Oakland A's and the Chicago White Sox, who are in front of them. Boston's not even in contention. So this is definitely going to be a heartbreaking loss for the Royals if they can't pull it off. Wilson is 1 for 4. That's a 6-7 switch hitter. Ground ball second base X, and we're back to Barrett again. 2E11. 218, he'll get to that, but that E11 and 17 is a little interesting. Make sure there's no error there. E11 for a second baseman, and there's a 17 right there. E1, one base error on the second baseman Barrett, and the game will continue. He is an E11, that's a 17, that's a 17. So an error on Barrett will keep the ball game going. And Wilson, with good speed, might be thinking about trying to run here. Schiraldi's a +4 arm, or +4 hold. And we'll look at Sullivan and see what his catcher rating is. Sullivan's arm. Grab Sullivan's card. Get his arm rating. Mark Sullivan. He's a 0 arm, so it would be a +4. So if he got the lead, it would be pretty much automatic. So they're going to try for the lead here. He needs a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. He does not get the lead. Still could try it without the lead. That's a 15. -4 makes it an 11, but +4 makes it a 15. Boy, it'd be a 1 to 15 chance to get in scoring position. They're going to take it. 1 to 15, he's going to go. And he's in there. Stolen base. You don't have to have the good lead to be successful, because when the pitcher has a bad hold rating, you can get it done. So he steals the base, does Willie Wilson. And now it's up to George Brett against Schiraldi. Tying run is in scoring position. They will be holding on Wilson and try to keep him close. Schiraldi, 110 to Brett. It's a 1 to 3 triple. 4 to 20 is a single 2 stars. It's a single 2 stars, and we got ourselves a tie ball game. The Red Sox can't handle prosperity either. A 2-base error, an error with 2 outs in the ninth does it for the Royals to allow them to come back and tie this game. And now Frank White, the batter. And here's Frank White. That's a 2-8. And a 2-8 is a 1 to 8 double. 9 to 20 is a single. It's a single 2 stars. It's going to move Brett to third base. And now Danny Tartabull can walk it off with the base hit against Schiraldi. Red Sox don't really have anybody else to go to. It's really Schiraldi or bust at this point. 2-8. And that's oh boy, look at this. Danny Tartabull would have won the game, but the anti-clutch comes up and bites him in the butt. And that single will turn into a pop out to short because of the anti-clutch. And we're going to have free baseball. 5-5, our score after 9. And now the Royals will have to make some defensive adjustments based on those pinch hitters that came in. Jamie Minnick Quirk will have to catch. He will catch for Owen. Quirk is in to catch in the 10th. And playing second base will be, where did he go? Where did he go to? Oh, I've already brought him in the lineup here, I think. Let's see here. Where did he go? Where did Pacoda go? Hold on. Let's bring him in on the computer, first of all. Well, first of all, I got to let the inning be over. So to pop out to short. Now we go to the computer, make these defensive changes. Quirk goes in as the catcher. Pacoda will go in and play second base. And all right, third base. Well, Brett's already at third base. So catching is Quirk. Okay, so there we go. Quirk, and then Pacoda is at second base. So a lot of maneuvering there, that's for sure. And we got ourselves a fiasco. And that means Quisenberry's coming back to pitch the 10th inning. And I think now that it's gotten over this far, I'm going to have to come over here and just put the cards here. I don't really see any way around that. Schiraldi's going to go 1 inning. He blew the save. He's going to give up 2 hits, 1 run, which was unearned. He did get a strikeout, no walks, and a strikeout, but he is done, and they'll have to bring in somebody else to pitch the bottom of the 10th. But right now, we're looking at Dewey Evans against Dan Quisenberry. Top of the 10th. Okay, now all the Royals are done. They have no other bench players, so they're going to have to. Well, I'm sorry, they have George Order who can pinch hit. That's about as far as you can go. They have George Order who can pinch hit, and that is it. So, talk about exhausting your bench. They just did it. So, it is Pacoda who will play second base. Normally a third baseman, but I believe he can still play second base. Let me double check his card. Yeah. He's a 4E19 at second base, so he's not bad. Not great, but not tremendously horrible. But anyway. All right, so Quisenberry back out. We'll face. Actually, Evans made the last. It'll be Rice, Henderson, and Spike Owen are your scheduled hitters. Rice, Henderson, and Spike Owen are the scheduled hitters for the Red Sox here in the top of the 10th. Rice on the day is 0 for 3. I'm sorry, 1 for 3. Rice is 1 for 3. He singled, has a run scored. So Quiz to start the top of the 10th. 3-5 for Rice, and that's a chance for a home run right here, 1 to 10. That's a 13, so he'll settle in air quotes with the double. So Jim Rice, a leadoff double, and Boston in business again. Here's Dave Henderson. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at the balk rating of Quisenberry. Double check the computer because, again, these cards don't have the balk written on the card. Quisenberry's a 0 balk and 0 wild pitch, so we can't do either one. That's a 5-6 for Quisenberry, and that's a fly to center. Out number 1. 1 down, and that takes us to Spike Owen, his first at bat. Owen's hitting 164 on the replay, a homer and 3 driven in. That's a 5-8, switch hitter batting left-handed, and that's a fly to right, 2 down. So Quisenberry trying to pitch around this leadoff double. And Mark Sullivan, they can't pitch hit for him because they have no other catcher, so he's going to have to hit. He's hitting 188 on the replay, a homer and 9 driven in. He hit 169 real world. Look at his clutch rating against righties. He's not rated that way. But we got it off Quisenberry's card. 6-7 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's Salazar. He's a 2E16 for our Angel Salazar. Double die is a 4, but I think he might still be able to get to it. 2 and a 4 is a G3 pound, but they were not holding Rice at second base. So, and even if they were, he wouldn't be responsible. It'd be the second baseman responsible. So the G3 is going to be good. That's a 12, and he is an E16. E16, there's no 12, so Salazar will make the play, and the Red Sox blow a golden opportunity with a leadoff double and cannot score. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Still 5-5. And now what do the Red Sox do for their pitching? Because Schiraldi didn't get it done. They may end up going to Joe Sambito, possibly. I don't know. Bo Jackson is going to be the leadoff hitter. So let's see who the Red Sox have left in the bullpen. They've got Steve Crawford, and they've got Joe Sambito. They're going to go with Crawford, right-hander. Steve Crawford. He was 5-4, 5.33 ERA real world. Is Crawford. On the replay, he is 2-2 with 2 saves, a 2.84 earned run average. 25 innings pitched, 26 hits, 13 walks, and 19 strikeouts. So, stepping to the plate is going to be Bo Jackson, Steve Alboni, and Angel Salazar. Those are the 3 scheduled for the Royals here in the bottom of the 10th. Can Bo Nose walk something off here against Steve Crawford? He's definitely due. Here's Bo. That's a 2-7. He's also due to strike out, which he just did. So Bo Nose has the hat trick with 3 strikeouts. Maybe he should go back to football. Here's Balboni. Speaking of strikeouts, but he's also capable of the long ball. That's a 4-5, and that is a fly to center. Burks hauls it in. 2 down for Angel Salazar, and it looks like we might be going to the 11th. Getting to be a game of attrition. 2-4. That's a pop out to second, and that's going to do it. Crawford goes 1, 2, 3 in the 10th. We go to the 11th. Still tied at 5. Quisenberry out for another inning of work. Got to worry about fatigue coming up here shortly. It'll be Burks, Barrett, and Boggs due up for the Red Sox. Burks 1 for 4 with a walk. That's a 1-5, and that's a 1 for a single. 2-20 lines out, and that's going to do it there for a line out. And that's out number 1. That'll bring up Marty Barrett. Barrett is 1 for 5. 2-11, and that's a fly ball to right field, makes him 1 for 6. For Wade Boggs. That's a 3-4 for Boggs. 1-17 is a single, but the D20 is a 20 this time, so it does not cooperate. And he lines it to Pacoda to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 11th, and I think that might be it for Quisenberry. I'm not sure if he can keep going. That might be realistically all for Quisenberry. We go to the bottom of the 10th. or bottom of the 11th, rather, and Crawford back out. He'll be facing Pacoda for his first at bat. And then the top of the order, Wilson and Brett. So it'll be Pacoda to lead things off for the Royals, followed by Wilson and Brett. I'm sorry, followed by Quirk and Wilson. My bad. Quirk is the one who pinches for Owen. So it's Pacoda, Quirk, and Wilson. Pacoda, Quirk, and Wilson. All right, here is Pacoda against Crawford. 4-4. That's ground ball third base X. That's Boggs. He's a 2E16. 2E16. That's a 2 and a 3. Devil Die came up with a 3. But I think he's going to get there. 2 and a 3, he gets to it. That's a 14. And he is an E12 at third base. There's a 12, but no 14. So Boggs will make the play. And that will send up Jamie Quirk. His first at bat. See what he can do against Crawford. 3-7. That's a 1-14 single. It's a base hit for Quirk. Not much of a runner, but can't pinch run for him because it's the only catcher you got. So you're going to have to go with it. And that'll bring up Willie Wilson. Switch hitter. Willie Wilson. He has doubled, reached on the error, stole the base, scored a couple of runs. 111 is a ballpark single check. It's 1 to an 11. That's a 5. That's a base hit. It's going to put runners at first and second. Again, the speed at second is not much in Quirk. His run rating is only an 11, so it might take a little bit extra to score him. We shall see, but right now it's George Brett time. Brett with a chance to walk this off, potentially. He's 2 for 2 in the game. He's singled twice since coming into the game. 3-11. That's a ballpark blast. It's only 1 to 3, and that's a 13, so it's just a deep fly to right. That could have been a walk-off 3-run job right there, but it was not. And that's going to send us to the DH, Frank White. Last chance for the Royals to try to end this thing right now. Frank White in the clutch. White will lose a hit on 3-12. That's the only place he's anti-clutch. Going to 1-9, and he's going to walk, and that's going to load the bases. And that will extend things to you-know-who, Danny Tartable. He's been in the middle of a lot of things. Now, last time he hit the anti-clutch that would have won the game, but he popped up to short on anti-clutch. So the Royals are hoping they don't get the anti-clutch again. But right there, that 2-8 and 2-9 are anti-clutch. So is 3-10. So it's definitely a factor. Crawford, no place to put Tartable. Bases are full. 3-6, and that's a walk-off grand slam home run for Danny Tartable. Clean as a baby's ass right there. Danny Tartable on a 3-6. Look at it right there, clear as day. Grand salami for Danny Tartable. He's obviously the player of the game. He had a 2-run homer in the 6th that gave him the lead. He comes back with home run number 10. This one a grand slam. And that's going to do it. Danny Tartable walks it off with a grand slam home run. And the Kansas City Royals get a hard-fought victory over the befuddled Boston Red Sox by the score of 9, Dolly Parton style, 9-5 is your final. As Tartable goes deep to end this thing. And unfortunately for the Red Sox, they take the L. And almost have to take a deep breath after that game because this was something else. 9 runs, 16 hits, and 1 error. 5 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Sox. Winning pitcher was Quisenberry. He goes 2 1/3. He's going to give up 2 hits and a run. no walks, and no strikeouts. The losing pitcher is Crawford. He goes 1 2/3 innings, gives up 3 hits and 4 runs, courtesy of the grand slam, a walk, and a strikeout. Boston left on 10, Kansas City left on 8. Player of the game, obviously, Danny Tartabull, 4 for 5, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Player of the game, no question about it. Danny Tartabull is the man. He had 34 home runs in real world. This was home run number 10. And he got it done. 7 RBIs now brings his RBI total up to 20. Let's see what I say. He had 27 RBIs now for Danny Tartabull. 10 home runs and 27 runs batted in for Tartabull. Easily could be called the best game of the year in this replay. I mean, I'm sure there's been some other good ones too, but this one certainly is going to be memorable for a while. And it's also memorable for the Royals because they get the win to go to 19-18 and keep pace with the Oakland A's as we look at the standings. Up to the minute, now Kansas City has just tied Chicago for second place, a game and a half back. So I don't know if this will show up well or not on my phone. I'll try to take a picture of it, but like I said, I don't know how well it will show up. But I'll try to get it to be where you can see it, hopefully. I'll take a snapshot of this, and we'll see if it shows up. Okay. Hopefully it shows up. We shall see. Let me do this here. I'm going to bring this in and show the standings. Turn this overhead light off because there's glare there. But there are your standings up to the minute now with this game in play. Kansas City now improves to 19-18. They are a game and a half back of first place Oakland, tied with the White Sox. The poor Red Sox drop to last place. They fall behind the Orioles now for last place in the East. But big win for the Kansas City Royals as they get it done. I think I'm going to have to change the thumbnail to a Danny Tartabull picture. I think that's going to be mandatory to do that. But glad I was able to get the game through because, like I said, YouTube was telling me I couldn't go live and all this other stuff. So I'm glad I at least typed this because the rest of this stuff is a virtual chicken scratch mess that I don't even know if I can read it. But the game's in the computer, stats are in the computer, so I don't have to worry about reading it right now. I just got to enjoy this one, rest, and get ready for the next game and the replay. So if I look at the 87 schedule for May the 20th, and we'll see who – now, May 21st is only one game, May 21st, that was scheduled because this May 20th was a Wednesday in 1987. Thursday are typically travel days. So the 21st is a travel day. The only game going is Minnesota and Cleveland. So that will be played on the 21st. That's the only game I can play because everybody else is off. But for May the 20th, we got some other selections we could go to. Baltimore and Seattle, not that great of a matchup. Chicago, Milwaukee, we just did that one. Detroit, Texas, we did that not that long ago. Yankees and Oakland is certainly a potential. Toronto and California, just for no other reason, Jimmy Key is pitching, and he is the man in this replay. So next game will be Toronto and California, so we can see Jimmy Key in action. Jimmy Key is about ready to – he's winning the Triple Crown in pitching except for strikeouts. He's got ERA and wins, significant lead in those categories. But Jimmy Key will be the man for Toronto. And look at his replay stats real quick. Jimmy Key and Toronto will take on California. That will be the next game on the replay. The second game on the May 20th date. Jimmy Key is 8-0 with a 1.26 earned run average in 9 starts. He's completed 3 of those starts. 2 of them were shutouts. 71 2/3 innings pitched, 47 hits, 20 walks, and 52 strikeouts. So he is definitely the man. No question about it. But hope you enjoyed that Strat-O-Matic 1987 morning replay with the Red Sox and the Royals with Danny Tartabull. Danny Tartabull, a walk-off grand slam off of Steve Crawford, and he got the job done. So thank you all for spending part of your Wednesday morning with me. Hope you all have a great day. If you're so interested in the Strat-O-Matic computer, I did do a video yesterday. I recorded a video of how to set up a brand new league in Strat-O-Matic, much like I set up the Demolition League. How I got Wilson to 15 for the steal. Sure, I can show that real quick. Wilson, he was a 15, but being held as a -4 for an 11. But Crawford, I mean, it wasn't Crawford. It was Schiraldi. Schiraldi was pitching at the time, and Schiraldi had a +4 arm. So the +4 arm negated the -4 hold. So that's how he got to 15. He was a 15, -4 for being held with the secondary lead, makes him 11, but the +4 from Calvin Schiraldi brought him right back to 15. That's how I did it. Or that's how it happened, I should say. But as I was saying, I did for those that are interested, I did do a video. I managed to get OBS to work for me. And I did a video on how to create a league from scratch, brand new, like I did for the Demolition League, where you take teams from other leagues you have on the computer, other seasons you have on the computer. You pick and grab teams you want, bring them all into one league, set up the divisions, set up the schedule, set up the rules, set up everything. So from A to Z, I go through how to do that. Let me take a look and see how long that. I don't think it's probably like a 20-minute video. I don't think it's very long, but I will double check it. Took me a couple times to record it because it kept messing up. I kept getting a buzzing sound in my audio there. Actually, 17 minutes and 16 seconds is how long that video took. So that's how long it took me to explain that and get everything scheduled and show the start of a game and everything with the new league. So hopefully, if you're so interested in doing something like that, Jeff, I'm going to probably do it. Boy. You know what? I might could just go ahead and do it now. I might just go ahead and have it come up now. I may go ahead and just do it now. How about that? Or I could set it up for 11. You know what? I'll set it up for 11 a.m., Jeff. How about that? We'll set it up for 11 a.m. I don't necessarily know that there needs to be a premiere factor, but I guess I could set it up as premiere. That way you guys could type in questions while I'm sitting there and could possibly answer them in that 17-minute time frame. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up on my landing page as a premiere at 11 o'clock a.m. So it gives me time to go grab a bite to eat and get settled in before I have to want to be there to answer any questions. So 11 a.m., so about 30-something minutes from now, 35 minutes from now, I'll upload that as a premiere. In fact, I'll go ahead and set it up right now, and then that way you'll have it and you can see it. So let's go into my little thingy here and update this, edit. And we're going to change it from private to schedule, which we're setting as a premiere at 11 a.m. Okay, it just says it saved it as a premiere at 11 a.m. So if you go in, if you have notifications set up, it should come up as a notification for future video. Should show up as it says creating a league from scratch in Strat-O-Matic PC game. That's what I titled it. And my thumbnail is the Strat-O-Matic game box. So hopefully that'll come up either on the landing page or there you go, Jeff. That's a good idea. Thank you for suggesting that. So hopefully you can see that now either on your notifications, or if you go to my landing page, it should show up there as an 11 a.m. premiere. For those that are interested in the PC, some people don't care for the PC. I don't really care for the PC other than keeping my stats. I don't really just out and out play games on the PC. I just use it to. It's a very convenient way to keep statistics and give me updated rosters that I need and so forth. So that's basically what I'm doing with that. Yeah, definitely Canadian. Definitely keep stats. That's, I mean, to do all this by hand, to keep the stats by hand, it'd be hard to do it. There you go, Scooney. Yeah, it's kind of hard to interfere when you're on the computer. Although I guess they could hit on the keyboard or something. I don't know. Yes, Dr. D, Digital Diamond. I love Digital Diamond for seasons I don't have. So I do love Digital Diamond for that. And supposedly Action PC is going to have in their next version a manual input, which I would definitely look into. So. Yes, Canadian, much faster. And when I'm doing these 2 long replays, I need all the speed I can get. So, all right. So anyway, 11 o'clock, that'll be out there, and you can check it out and see what you think, and ask me any questions. I'll be in the chat text. You can text me a question or whatever if you see something that that is a little bit, maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say questionable, but maybe something you don't quite understand how I got to where I got to it, then you can let me know and I can answer it. And if need be, I can do a follow-up video. If it's really complicated, I can do a follow-up, maybe a short or something. But anyway, I need to go grab a bite to eat so I can be ready by 11 o'clock. We're talking about 30 minutes from now. So until next time, well, first of all, let me say thank you for being here. Thank you for this wonderful game, Strat-O-Matic, a walk-off grand slam for Danny Tartable. I'm pretty sure that's my first ever walk-off grand slam, although there might have been one in the past. But despite the fact that this is a DH game, there was a lot of managing involved there with substitutions and moving players around and so forth. And it seemed like neither team wanted to win it. But Kansas City, thanks to Danny Tartable, pulled it off. So there you go, Danny Tartable. Whoops. Danny Tartable is the man. He had 34 home runs real world, and he hit 2 of them today. So Danny Tartable. I don't like this blue-black background on the 87 cards. It makes it hard to see. It's blue writing, blue text on the blue background. I much prefer the newer seasons now where they have the charcoal gray in the back for basic. Looks much cleaner. But this is the way they did 87 back in the day. So take what you can get. All right, so for those that are interested, I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. For those that don't care about the Strat PC, I guess I'll see you maybe tonight for the Demolition League game around 9 o'clock, 9:15, something like that. Probably at 9 because it's going to take me about 15 minutes to go through the process of doing the injuries and the lineups and all that stuff. So if I don't see you at 11 this morning, I'll see you at 9 Eastern tonight. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.